We're live. We made it. All three of us.
We got it.
And we're all connected.
Welcome, Harry. Welcome, Tony. Thanks for joining us in the middle of your night. 4 o'clock in the morning, I learned. Jesus.
Yeah, I've just been down at the local club and I've just come straight from the club, mate.
Yeah, you know, grooving.
Okay. Well, thanks a lot for joining, Tony. We appreciate it very much. We're very happy to have you. And I have to admit, I talked to one or two of the other YouTubers, and they're jealous that we are the first ones to got you on a live.
Yeah.
Outside of Australia.
Pleasure.
So,
I'm honoured, boys. I'm honoured.
So are we. So are we.
Well, to be honest, Nico, I think you were almost one of the very first subscribers to the Tony Drony channel early last year, and you've been a constant support and watch pretty much all my videos, and you've been a big inspiration from day one since last year. So it's been a pleasure to be invited on with you boys. I've been watching from the sidelines, so it's good to catch up with you Europeans, even though it's at a weird time. But nothing wrong with an early start in Australia. At least when the sun comes up, I can get out there and start slotcars straight away.
And it's absolutely great to have you here.
Thank you so much.
Great to have you here.
And as we started,
I like the hat.
Sorry, go ahead.
I like the hat, Harry.
Which one?
Little token.
In honor of our guest, Tony.
You know, Tony, the reason is Harry and I, we've got the same hairdresser, you know? So that's...
I'm getting there.
Exactly. You're getting there. You're getting there.
Hold on a minute. Nico, you mean you pay for that?
No, that's one thing I learned in Australia. Do it yourself or let the sheep guy do it, you know?
Yeah. Do it yourself, and if it's wrong, you can only blame yourself.
Believe it or not, going from 0 in the chat's starting to go. First one is the Spanish guys being on here, which is also quite a big honor to me, I have to admit, because come on, there's no other country in the world where slotcars is as big as Spain. Mm-hmm. There is Mike joined us. Redhead from Germany joined us.
Cool.
It's Slot Journal.
That's Mark.
Gref's Shed. I guess that sounds Australian to me, if it's a shed.
I think he is, yeah.
Okay, so very welcome. But it's not on me. Guys, what was your week like? Maybe we'll start with Harry this time.
What was my week like? I had a good week. Loads of stuff messing about. Done a bit of painting in the slot room, and done a bit of radio control stuff, which I'll post later on this week. I have a video going out, and loads of chat. I watch tons of YouTube. There's not enough hours to watch the amount of slotcar stuff on YouTube. It's amazing. It's just crazy. Look, my bubbles they're not behaving themselves today.
The amount of live streams popping up is amazing.
Oh, yes.
The amount of slotcar lives going on. You can't keep up every week with the lives, let alone everyone else's content. Yeah,
it's amazing. The amount of live stuff is just between all the lives. And so many live shows now are running for 2 hours, 2.5 hours. And then you're trying to fit in all the normal stuff as well. And we've all the shorts, you know.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
What's your opinion, guys, on these YouTube shorts?
Beg your pardon?
What's your opinion on these YouTube shorts? I'm not a big fan. They're a pain in the ass and they get bugger all views, but everyone seems to push it.
It's how should I explain it? My point of view. It helps your channel. Let's put it that way. It gives you a quick kick. Sorry for that. On guys visiting or watching your channel, but it's just like a short peak.
I suppose I just want to be a bit more. Sorry.
sometimes
Go ahead.
Sometimes they say the 3-minute shorts or even a 1-minute short. They do say sometimes it can help promote your channel. People find it because it's a short, and then they might go to your channel. Now, whether there's any proof in the pudding, whether that's true or not, I don't know. I'm doing this 3-minute Thursday thing that we're all doing at the moment, and it's a bit of fun. The only thing with the short is you can bang it together so quickly. You know, you don't need much thinking to do it.
Yeah,
but I think. Yeah, that's one of mine did well, and then other ones bombed completely. So it can be good or terrible.
Yeah, I've noticed some of mine just go bang, or they'll just do nothing. But you don't know if that's the YouTube algorithm playing its little games or what. So I don't know if it's me not doing the right thumbnail or hashtags, and there's so many little things you've got to add.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, as I said, I think it's just. I don't know. I also I prefer the 3 minutes now. It really, because if an idea pops up, I'll just go for it. There's no cutting, no editing, no doing nothing. Just going like there's no tomorrow.
Yeah, and you can do it, I suppose, straight on your phone and bang it straight up on YouTube without even using an editor or something now, I suppose, if it's just that little short format.
Yeah. But I do everything on my phone, so that's sort of suits me for the 3-minute thing. I just want to say welcome to Hanula Photography. I seen him in the chat the other day as well. He was on one of the other shows. I don't know if it was Pete's show, maybe he was on. But
I think so, yeah.
I said hello to him. Yeah. He's only across the water from me. I said you can pop down and have a race sometime. So welcome to the chat. Welcome to the chat. Spain's here.
Yeah. Exactly. Mike just popped in.
Spain.
Mike,
I do,
good
Mike.
to see you. My inspiration for the last 3 minutes. But Tony, we cut you off on what's your week been up to. Sorry.
No, you're fine, boys. Plenty of time. Oh no, usual story here. In Darwin, I only get mail a couple of times a week because I live probably 1 hour out of the city. So I don't get mail every day. So I get Mondays and Fridays mail. So it's a little bit exciting every Monday and Friday, So had a few goodies come in this week. Let me grab one. So the silly thing is, this purchase came in from the USA and it was off eBay. And I thought I was combining the two items to save postage like they say, but the fellas obviously sent the two items separately. But I've got the very hard to find Vario 16 Ninko controller. So this is the one that has all the dip switches on the back and all these different throttle curves. And so back in the day, I'm not 100% sure because I'm not a true Ninko nerd, but back in the day, this was like the duck's nuts controller to have,
Nice
and it comes with a special piece of track that will accept this different size
plug
input jack. Yeah. So I'm waiting on the piece of track. So I'm hopefully that turns up next week.
That was the second thing that you ordered. You ordered the track and the controller together.
Yeah. You go to hit the combined postage thing, but he still sent them separately via 2 packages. But this is the fella anyway. I don't know if that's gonna.
Johnny, what was that?
Oh, Johnny Slotcars.
Johnny Slotcars. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's coming because Ninko stuff's so hard to find, especially here in Australia. So
how long did that take you to get here?
I'm surprised. Probably only less than 3 weeks.
Good.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
And I was surprised too with that package I've recently sent to Harry too to get to Australia from regional Australia to Latvia. It only took what was that about 3 weeks, Harry? I think
very quick. Yeah, Tony sent me something from my Slack car crashing videos, so I'll be unboxing that when I get around to it. He's on the list. Thank you very much, Tony.
Good.
That arrived very quickly. Yeah, I'm quite surprised so far. Nothing has gone missing in the post. Okay, they don't want to give it to me, but it hasn't gone missing. So I'm doing well so far, yeah.
You got to pay
So
that
you see
Latvian tax.
Sorry?
That Latvian tax, eh?
Oh, they love their money. Yeah, they love their party money for their Christmas parties and stuff like that. They got to get it out of you.
So you see, Tony, you're in best company because the Spanish guy is already kicking in.
Yeah.
Keeping us updated with the history on that it dates back to 95 to 99.
Wicked. No, thank you, boys, and I love the fact that because I've only started my channel pretty much coming up a year anniversary next week, I think it is, and I get so many international commenters on Ninko because I'm only learning myself and going along this journey myself, and so many international fellas comment. It's great. It's really inspires you to keep going and spend more money.
And it's quite interesting. We've a lot of Ninko fans, haven't we? We've like Rick Shed. He's got a heap of Ninko stuff in his shed, so that's himself. You know. Hey, I just wanted to mention, I'm looking at White Man who's saying, with man or White Man, got 5 new cars in yesterday. Glad my wife is out of town. Yeah, I know what that's. Yeah, I know that feeling.
You know, I've got a meme, a picture with the loudest noises on Earth. You know, like a military jet or a rocket. But the loudest thing is the UPS delivery bringing your parcel for your hobby and your wife's home. That's the loudest noise you can think of.
That's one good thing I like is I've got a post office box. So because we're in the regional area, I've got the key to the box. So I go there and get it out of the box first. You know.
Yeah, you get the notification. You can run down and get it out of the box, so it's never seen.
Tuck it down your sweatshirt or something. Yeah.
Welcome, Ron. Welcome to the chat.
Welcome. Hi, so fast.
Slothead crew.
Yeah, they're filling up.
No, good to see you.
So, guys,
I can't concentrate with this hat. Hold on a minute.
All good.
Okay, that's better.
The microphone's gone now. Okay. You got a new hat.
There we are. Fixed.
Yeah, so that was pretty much my week. A couple of packages came in, and I uploaded that one particular video that I showcased those X-Lot cars, the 128 scale Ninkos, and I got some spare tires that come in for that from Bonza Hobbies, and I got my first ever little slot car shirt. So, you know, deep down the hole, boys. I'm even buying clothing now.
Yeah. My shirt, Pioneer shirt, great card. Pioneer makes some great shirt.
So shall we get you in connection with Pete in the UK then, with his t-shirt shop, or Rahul, I guess. They're the t-shirt selling guys.
The merch specialists.
The merch guys.
Specialist. Yeah.
Well, it's took me a year, but I finally got a little logo now. So I've got a Tony Drony logo. So I've got stickers on the way. So hopefully soon I'll have, I might even try and do some mugs like you guys, stickers, mugs, and I'll definitely do a shirt for myself. So I might even try and do a dozen so shirts and see if anyone's interested.
I've got absolutely no idea what you're talking about. Or, I don't know.
And how's that? Does it work out affordable, Nico? You buy any quantities, or are you only just buying small amounts?
I'm only buying like one or two. I've got stickers, so we can exchange stickers, no problem. We already wrote that back and forth, and you said as soon as you got yours, we'll do that definitely. But like the merch stuff, I only did one or two items. Like I've got a polo, like this hoodie, my cap, and that was it. And the stickers,
I'm similar. I got a t-shirt. I mean, one t-shirt with my logo was like €25 for one t-shirt. It's like, you know, it's really expensive. Unless you're getting 50 done, then the price comes down per piece, you know. And but my printers are pretty terrible here. They're not great. I've gone back to them. I got my mugs done. I was very unhappy. I went back. They redone them in different style. I was unhappy again. It's just I'm going to have to find somewhere better that can print better quality. Really, I was very annoyed at them. But what can I do? I've paid up front and I got the mugs and that's it. You know.
Yeah.
So that's always the problem. So have you got anything on the bench, Tony? Are you working on anything on your bench at the moment?
Yeah, I've always got something on the go. I'm not the biggest in the way of tuning and modifying cars, you know. And if I have a problem with a car, yeah, I'll deal with it. I'll fix it and that. But if it's a good runner on the track, I'll let it be. Oil it up, oil the braids, a few things like that. But I heard you boys are going to be talking about painting later. So I've got one little project that could potentially be a kit build project soon, which is that Pro Race Ninko kit that I've got. So it comes with 2 body shells.
Okay.
Where am I going to get that on the camera? So it comes with a white kit and a coloured kit. So I've never done one, and I need some help and I need some tips.
No problem.
Okay. Good stuff. Yeah. Well, is it your first time ever to paint a slot car?
A slot car, yeah. I've done quite a few RC Lexan shells, but that's a different kettle of fish again.
Yeah, because with the Lexan shells, you can get the polycarbonate paint and you just spray from inside, and it just takes to the plastic. It's amazing actually. And then on the outside, they look fantastic because
you peel the cover off and you look amazing.
Yeah, you know. So I've done a few RC cars in the past. Yeah,
but Tony, you've got a massive advantage to all of us. You've got continuously warm weather to dry the paint. We haven't.
Yeah.
No, that's not. I need a special spray boot. You know, I don't have a special spray boot at the moment. Once I get a good spray boot, Harry.
Yeah, you need a good boot. Any boot, take one of the Wides boots or something like that. It'd be fine.
I was laughing so much on that video.
I'm probably still suffering from the fumes of spraying in that room. Maybe that's why I'm a bit strange. I don't know.
I love it.
I think it went over a lot of people's heads, or else they just didn't respond to it.
So you see, Tony, the guys in Spain are already getting very nervous and jealous because you got that nice Pro Race suitcase with the bodies. They're already scratching, you know, their nails.
I never even knew they existed. Are there any other models out there? Or is this No, this is a Ferrari.
Okay.
Oh no, I'm wrong. It is. Sorry, it's a Supra with a big wide body kit on it.
Okay.
Let me get a better.
Yep, that's Toyota. Yeah.
Yeah, a little Supra.
Yep.
You can tell by the classic tail end. No, actually, when I first initially opened it, I thought it was a Ferrari, but the boys have corrected us. Wow, and I love Supras.
Are you planning on doing a race livery or just like a road car livery?
Well, I don't have decals, so that I heard the decal is another bloody world of hurt you can put yourself into. So it might just be. Yeah. I think it might just be a GT body with maybe a few little, Fast and the Furious little decals just near the doors or something like that.
Yeah, because we all know Slother Dave was talking about his hassle with the decals on his car. He done the car beautiful, put on the decal, sprayed it, and the decals reacted and then take them on. He had a bit of a nightmare finishing one particular car he was doing. So I've heard of that happen quite often with the decals just going crazy when you put the finishing coat over it, and it just ruins the whole thing.
Just so very delicate and with tweezers, and you get that little shake in your hand, and oh my god.
Oh no, it sounds harder than it is. You can relax, Tony. But there's still ways to adjust it. Don't worry. So even if you come out of the pub from last night,
shaky hand. I remember doing the Airfix kits when I was a kid, and so you got used to those decals with the Airfix kits, and then people then you learned. People said, well, put a bit of the washing up liquid, put a tiny bit of liquid in the thing with the decal, and it'll slip around a bit more. You'll have a better chance. Or if you don't use enough water and it just sticks to it, and then you try and move it, the thing just rips apart, and it can be a nightmare.
Yeah, when you got big man stupid fingers, you know.
Oh yeah, tell me about it, Tony. Jeez. Hey, Bo, welcome to the chat, Bo.
Welcome, John from Utah. Welcome, Redhead. So the Germans are kicking in.
Hi, John.
That's so good. I'm seeing so many people I'm not used to seeing. It's great. It's a new audience.
Redhead is German. Bomamo is German, but they speak English very well, so no worries.
And please recommend any of these guys. Have they got YouTube channels I should be subscribing to or not?
Yes, all of them.
Let me know. Yeah, right.
All of them. All
Jeez,
of them.
I need a list.
Yeah,
you just
after the show, go back in after the show, and you'll be able to, click on them. But yeah, most of the guys have. Most of the guys don't have channels. Bo doesn't, or most guys do have channels. Bo doesn't have a channel, but I'll also say that Bo is a fountain of knowledge. He races at home. He puts his track out on the floor, and he's into slot cars many years. So Bo is a fountain of knowledge as well.
Redhead is doing a lot of 43 and 24 racing, and he's also got videos. So Redhead, definitely a channel to watch out for or to go to.
Cool.
Welcome, HSF. Oh, yes, that's also a good channel in case you haven't seen that. So a lot of good people in here popping in slowly.
And we usually have Fox and Wolves popping in, but from what I know, they were quiet this week because they've lost their internet for a while. There's problems with the internet in their area. So that's why people are wondering where they suddenly disappeared. But that's what their problem was.
Okay.
Their internet is acting up.
Real carpet slider, eh?
So you see Bo's real carpet slider there.
We all got to start somewhere, eh?
But again, as Harry mentioned, a big fountain of knowledge, a very big fountain of knowledge. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, the slot car community has been so positive. Like, I've come from drones. I'm involved with a lot of drone pages and Facebooks and forum groups and that, and RC. And the drones are the worst. That is just so negative and angry people. RC cars 50-50, you'll get some haters and you get love. Yeah, it's not too bad. Slot car community, 99% of people, 100%. I haven't seen one person in over a year that I've joined this community and been welcomed into it that's negative or anything really bad. It's been amazing.
Yeah, it's a small community, isn't it? And we try to get on. Now and again, you might get an asshole like me trying to, making a funny post and getting himself in trouble. But we won't talk about that.
Thank God we're not doing the Sunday morning like Pete in the UK, where you would go like beep already for the first time or have the first money being put.
Yeah, how does YouTube react with swearing and stuff on live streams? How do they monitor all that?
Tell you afterwards if they cut it out or not. I don't know yet.
in general, I've seen a lot of live streams where people be using the F word and stuff like that. I never use it online or anything like that. But maybe asshole or something like that would be as far as I go. But in general, I've seen channels where there'd be quite a bit of language in a live stream, and it seems to be fairly okay. I think it's consistent foul language that YouTube gets a bit fed up with.
And I've noticed too with I forgot his real name, from Tojo Racing, Todd. Todd. He's always got metal in the background. Yeah. And I sent him a message the other day. I said, how does YouTube go with all the copyright stuff with your music? Yeah. And he seems to get, he says, because he has it down low volume, he gets away with it. So
I know.
Good luck to him.
Because I had to be looking for background music, and I've all this rubbish that's on my phone. And then Todd comes on, and he's got this brilliant Led Zeppelin stuff in the back. And I'm like, how are you getting away with that? But it must be just the volume. If the noise is above the volume of the music, it must be. And someone
It
said
is.
to me before that if the music is louder at the very start of your video, the algorithm, the YouTube thing will come to it and say there's illegal music. But if you have general normal noise and then you introduce the music, I think possibly, but I don't know how much you can get away with it. And I'm always afraid of getting a copyright strike, and then they warn you online that, oh, you could lose your channel, and that would be like a complete disaster if that happened, you know.
Absolutely.
So that's why I never use music, only the rubbish that I have on my phone. You know, I'd love to use, there's some brilliant music out there, isn't there? But, you know, unfortunately.
Well,
oh yes.
Back in my novice days, if you ever did scroll back on my channel, there's lots of old drone videos. And when I used to do the drone videos, I used to just put Metallica and Nirvana or whatever in the background. So I've still got uploaded on YouTube probably 20 plus videos that have all got copyright strikes on them, and I've just left them there. So I don't know what happens. But since I've started doing the slot car stuff, I've played by the rules. But back in the day, I used to just put any music on it, and they all have on my end, it has a big warning thing, copyright thing on the video, but they've never taken it down. They never said anything. They still get views, so I just leave them there.
Yeah. Okay.
Good stuff.
Yeah. Get away with it.
So what's on your bench then, Harry?
Very little. So as you know, that's the car I painted. We know about that car. It was
Come up
this.
nice.
It was this, and it's now that. Okay, so I finished that. I gave a little test run today. It's running grand. I was running that car that Rob sent me, which I'm going to do a video of. I'm going to work on that this weekend. So I'll do a crash video of that. I'll crash the hell out of it. And do it's actually, you know, it actually runs quite okay. And the little lights flashing at the front for this novelty, what's it called? Night Rider thingy.
Yeah.
Night Rider, yeah. Kit, yeah.
I've been making some little homemade type of barrel things. So I've got PVC piping. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And I've just cut it, and I've been making these sort of things for just trackside things, you know. So
Wow, that's very effective.
So
easy.
you know what I mean?
Exactly.
You can get like 3 meters of this stuff for a few euro, and then just a little bit of paint and cut them up. So that's what I've been doing the last day or two.
That looks great.
Thanks, Tony.
Well, White Man's off. He needs to leave. See you later. Sorry. Go ahead. Tony, yours.
He's
I
gone.
have to stick my head out. I'm going to have to see if the sun's even come up yet.
Cheers, White Man. Thanks for being in the chat.
Still dark. Okay.
Yes.
Well, thanks again for the net time coming onto our show.
Tell the guys
Anytime,
what time
boys.
it is there, Tony. Tell the guys what time it is there.
Coming up 5 a.m., boys.
Jesus, so it's 4:30. Okay.
No, it's brilliant. I was excited all week when I got the invite. I was chuffed to bits to be on the show. So anytime, boys.
And we're chuffed to have you. We're
Thanks,
very
man.
pleased that you're the first guest on the show. So, but you know, we have a few questions for you coming up. Maybe after this, you won't want to come back.
Maybe we should ask the questions at the end when the show's nearly over, you know? Otherwise, we'll pop out. Nah, we're not that bad. You want to start, Harry?
Yeah, okay, Tony, you ready? These are very gentle questions. We're going to be nice to you. When we get to know
We're going to have any sort of do we get any backing music like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire or something like that, or what?
Yeah, that'd be nice.
No dramatic music.
Fortunately enough. Maybe more like
not this time. We haven't paid our YouTube taxes yet, you know, accordingly.
Okay, first question from me, Tony. Have you any slot car plans for the future? Big plans for the future?
Yeah, well, ideally, because I'm, as you might have seen from my videos, I'm outside. I'm probably one of the only silly YouTubers that's doing slot cars outside.
Cool.
And So eventually, yeah, we've got plans for a lovely big shed. Sort of, we're tossing up whether it's we're going to have a stand-aside shed, or I'm starting to get involved. If you've seen these barn-dominiums, all these Americans are doing, where it's just one big massive shed that incorporates, everything. So I'd love to have a big shed, and yeah, of course, I've got the SCX rally tracks sitting up there in the boxes. I'd love to be able to have like a big dedicated rally track, then a Ninko plastic track, and then the bloody big wooden Holy Grail. But we'll get there. We'll get there. So 2025, hopefully by the end of 2025, I want to be indoors.
We watch out for that. That's interesting to come. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Over to you, Nico. Over to you, Nico.
Well, first of all, UC, hi and coming. Welcome to
Dave.
the chat.
Oh, UC, how you doing with David? David, welcome along.
Early morning, boys.
Oh yeah, for many of you, appreciate that. Tony, what got you into slot cars?
Well, it was weird. It was I'm a bit of that addictive personality, where I get in. I've always had drones and RC and different little hobbies, Lego Technics, all that sort of stuff. And it just happened to be this time last year, March, I was just flicking on eBay, and I just come across a secondhand Ninko bundle. And just when I seen the Ninko bundle, the logo again, my eyes lit up, and I'm like, I remember that. So I opened up the ad and I look in the ad, and it was like a big box bundle with extra track, 2 beautiful Porsches, one orange one and one white Pioneer one. And it was an auction. So it was very low. So I bid on the auction, and like normal auctions, you don't really think much of it. I went to bed that night, woke up the next morning. Please pay now. So I'm like, oh my God, what have I done? And I still got it for pretty cheap. It was still only, I think it was about $200 Aussie, so probably 120, 130 euro for you boys. And the bundle of Ninko stuff comes up, and there we go. That was March last year, and I started with two little Ninko cars and a base set. And as you can see now behind me,
that's only a portion.
I'm scared to count how many cars I've bought in 1 year, but for one year.
Tony, you can do a 3-minute Thursday video short now as well, just to admit your addiction, like I did, or Bryce did, or Mike did, saying we have a problem.
I think we need some sort of community therapy group.
Yeah,
where we can all sort of sit in a round table, like A&A, and confess our sins.
In case nobody told you, this is it today.
Yeah.
You're already in it.
Yeah, okay. It's the Matrix.
Exactly.
Take the red pill or the blue pill.
We've got a question in the chat I would like to address.
Heido
Hanola. That's the only. Well, I do speak a few more Swedish words, but nobody wants to hear them, and we'll definitely be banned after that. So I'm not going to mention them. So Hano, it's practice to me. If you ask for if you want to improve your driving, it depends on whether you drive with magnet, without magnet. No discussion on that today. Rubber tires, foam tires, urethane tires. So yeah.
And then you've got all your cars. Each car's different. They all have their own character.
Yeah,
you'll find what genre you like. Whether it's F1 or it's touring cars or it's LMP cars. You'll eventually find the categories you like.
But also interesting to ask, Hanola, what's he running? Is it Scale Lexus Carrera? Is it 143? Is it 132? Be interesting to hear what sort of cars he's running, so we can maybe round down the advice.
Exactly, and Hanola, you're getting the advice of the slot car country already from Spain. it's on the screen already. So
The mecca for slot
You see-
cars.
yeah, you get quick answers here. Sorry, guys. Just wanted to bring the question up.
No, awesome. I love how you can bring in the crowd.
Yeah, see, David was saying that was a great haul, very cheap. Yeah, that was a good start. So it was sort of destiny. Once that arrived in the doorstep, I presume for you, Tony, that was the start of the thing. Yeah, that was the rabbit hole.
Yeah, well, it was, because then of course you only had 2 cars, so then you need a couple more cars, and so next thing you know, you're just typing in Ninko cars, Scale Electric cars, and then people are telling, "Oh, have you heard of these cars? Have you heard of those cars?" And oh my god,
yeah. Okay, I'll go with the next question. This is a fairly simple one, probably. Are there any slot races close by to you? How far do you have to travel to go to a club or something like that?
unfortunately, no, boys. Living up here in Darwin, Northern Territory, I'm 3,500, 4,000 kilometres from the east coast of Australia, so Brisbane, Sydney, or Melbourne. So it'd be definitely a flight. I'd love to. There's rumours and there's talks of a couple of big things brewing up in the Australian scene this year with some big events and tracks coming up. So I'd definitely love to pull the trigger and go down to one of these events. But I've never done any competitive racing whatsoever. I think when I was about 14 years old, when I lived in Brisbane as a child, as a kid going to school, I walked past one of those wooden track shops back in the day. It was huge. There was only 1 or 2 in the city of Brisbane back in the day, and I remember going in there as a 14-year-old and hiring the little car and going around this track as a 14-year-old. It felt like it was a 100-meter track in this little store. So I think that was the initial bug back in the day. But then
so you're like me. You're sort of a lone racer. You've no one to race against, really. So how do you feel about that? Like, I mean, are you happy just to go on your own, or I presume you'd love to meet someone who could race, a friend, or?
Actually, only like you said. Actually, sorry, 2 weeks ago, I've had a gentleman that, because I've got a pool business on the side as well, so I've dealt with him with his pool, and just happened to bring up slot cars, and his eyes lit up, and I said, "Oh yeah, you should come around to my house one day. He only lives down the road, and check out my setup." And he come around the other week, and he was like, "Oh my god, I used to have this when I was a young man. I used to have the scenery set up." He'd have to be mid-60s, this gentleman, Frank, his name is, and so that was 2 weeks ago, and he's already sending me pictures of what he's bought on Facebook Marketplace. He's got the tables at home set up.
Oh, there you go. So you have a race buddy now already. That's brilliant.
I've sucked one in already, so we brought another one into the fold, and he did the silly mistake is he bought SCX and he bought old Scale Electric, and he just thought they'd marry up. So he's got all this mixed match stuff at the moment. So I'm just helping him out. Getting, I think he's going to settle with a bit of SCX analog to start with, and get the plastic foldable tables out, similar to myself. Set up first, and off he goes. But that was great to get someone else into the hobby locally.
Excellent.
So maybe in the next couple of months I'll have someone on the channel that we can do a bit of light competitiveness. Yeah.
And in the chat, your idea on the anonymous slot addict is already picking up for that Slot Cars Anonymous meeting, and it's been 3 hours since my last slot car purchase, and everybody goes, "Wow!"
I think so. I think someone should start a page now.
Oh yeah.
It'd be like the slot car tragics.
I just want to welcome Slot Art to the chat, Dave. Just popping in.
Yes.
Thanks for popping in, Dave. And of course we have Tony here, or Tony. Of course we have Tony here. We have Joe here as well. So welcome to the chat, Joe. Okay,
Joe.
Nico.
Oh yeah.
12-volt
my
program.
second question would be, what do you like about slot cars?
Well, like we just mentioned, that it can be solo, So I do nothing better than when I come home from work of an afternoon, I've done all my little chores, mowing and all the crap you've got to do as a daily task. And then you get to have a look at your slot car track, dust off a few cars, fire it up, and just zen out for 20 minutes, doing a few laps. You've either got your coffee or your beer or your Jack Daniels. There's nothing better. So I do love the fact that it's a bit of a, like model trains and all this sort of stuff. It's solo, but it's also community-based too, where you're very competitive and club events and stuff too. So it's got a bit of everything, you know. That's why I do like drones as well. There's nothing better than, you know, getting all your batteries in a big battery pack and heading out to the park or down to the local school and just ripping drones all afternoon, and you're just flying around like a little free bird. It is great for the mental health, man. And, you know, all us gentlemen at this age are struggling with mental health issues, and it's very relaxing, and it puts you in a great place.
Yeah.
You know, Dave from Slothead is already coming up with the first steps on healing for the anonymous slot car addicts. Like step 1, we already accepted that, or we admit that we are powerless over slot cars. And his step 2 is trust. We trust that Revo Slot will produce cars we need. I
haven't bought a Revo Slot. I'm scared to buy an NSR or a Revo Slot because, well,
why?
I've concentrated on Ninko and SCX, and if I had a third, a fourth, a fifth brand, oh my god!
Yeah, so if you got a Revo Slot, you'd be like, oh wow, I like these. Gonna start collecting these now as well.
Yeah, we're sort of that, you know, I won't say toy grade, but most of the Ninkos are sort of, you know, basic chassis, basic setup. I love the fact that they've got a bit of everything with pro race stuff and all that as well. But oh my god, I bought a Scale Auto last year. I was blown away with the quality of a Scale Auto car. Wow.
I mean, this SCX. You know, SCX, Scale Electrics, Dinko, they're all that sort of, you know, people like to go toy grade, hobby grade, but I mean, also it can be budget grade, you know, like you could, you know, the budget is great for the Evolution, the analog cars in the Carrera even as well. So, you know, so if your friend wants to get some cars, you could say to him, get some Evolution Carrera cars. They're very reasonably priced.
Yeah, definitely. I'm a huge fan of buying used. The 80 to 90% of everything I've bought has been secondhand, really. There's not much brand new. It'd be 10-20% brand new.
And a lot of your stuff is immaculate, Tony. I've seen you doing unboxings, and some of those cars, they're like new. Like they're probably only used for an hour or two and put on a shelf by somebody, and then
I think so. Like those couple of big bundles I've bought, sort of, I think 2 big bundles. One was 31 cars in one hit, and one was about 15 cars in one hit. And yeah, I think they've come from the one particular collector here in Australia, and the Facebook seller is quite popular here in Australia. Puts them up as bundles, and I've hit the trigger on them. But yeah, I'm pretty sure they've come from one particular collector here in Australia.
Yeah, cool stuff. I mean, at least they come to a good home. I mean, you certainly love them, and you love the Ninko stuff, you know.
Oh, just love it.
Isn't it such a pity that Ninko went? You know what I mean? Like, their stuff was amazing. I mean, you'd wonder what happened. Like, what were the economical reasons? Like, why did they go bang? Because they had some beautiful stuff out there.
I don't know if someone can tell us in the chat what particular year or years was it? Was it early 2000s, late 90s? I think it was that they totally died.
Oh, I bet you somebody in the chat know that.
They haven't totally died. Sorry, guys. They still do 1-43 slot cars. You still can get new Ninko 1-43 cars.
Okay.
Don't tell me that.
And I'm not sure whether maybe Slot and Company can help us on, because it used to be it was a Spanish company, and I know he's very well connected in the Spanish scene, so maybe he can help us on. He started a question on which car is the car of the moment in your countries. And I know what he means, because at the moment in Spain, many new rally cars come out, and especially the one from Avant Slot, the Toyota Yaris, which everybody is running to, is just exploding in the market. I think they sold so many cars in Spain, unbelievable. So I guess that's where he's. They're amazing.
There's an answer from Slot and Company, Nico. Have a look at that in the comments now.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Tony, this one's for you. Ninko died. I asked to Ninko some years ago, 2 years ago, I think, and they said, we're not thinking in slot. Slot is finished for us. Okay, so sorry. They're not doing anything more at the moment.
Well, yeah, I've noticed they still make sort of kids RC toys and sort of kids toys, but that's about it. Yeah.
So in a way, that means you have a classic collection now of slot cars, Tony. So.
Well, that's what to me makes it even more desirable. You know, it's the fact that the brand's no longer around, and it's like Pokemon. I've got to have them all.
Yeah, save them all before they disappear.
yeah. So that to me is even more making it desirable for me, and the fact that in Australia they're quite rare to find. So when I find a few, I'll grab them. You know, and actually I forgot to mention this week I pulled the trigger on. I didn't even know they did them Ninko Indy cars. So I've got like 4 or 6 Ninko Indy cars coming.
Okay, cool. You don't know a guy called
independent steering.
Do you know Carlos, who does the Global Racing League through Herrera's Career that Joe's organised? Yep. He's big into Ninko as well.
Okay.
He's Spanish, and he lives in Canada. By the way, in case you didn't notice, Tony, there is Discord. I don't know whether you know about that. You've heard about that?
Yeah. I am. I've been very slack. I apologise. Joe sent me an invite there months ago, and I did join, and I was active for the first couple of weeks, and then I've just dropped off with my activity on that Discord page, just mainly because of the time zone differences. You know, that's what kills me.
Yeah, no, that's understandable.
But no, I've been on there, and it's great.
Yeah. Two things on that. First of all, Joe wants to know from Dave what step 3 is, and he's just asking for a friend. And he's stating that he's working today. Now, I need to tell you two guys a little story, because when I go to work in the morning, my morning, okay, I get in the car and I look into Discord. And many times I see Joe, Carlos, Pete from the US, still on Discord, which means when I drive to work, it's like 12:30 to 2:30 their morning, and they're still going on like hell. Like today was the same thing, and Joe said, "I'm not gonna work today. I don't think so. I'm just gonna take the dog out. You know, I'm not gonna make it." And now he writes he's at work.
We were just wondering what was stage 3. That's stage 3. When you're awake till 3 in the morning, talking about slot cars, I'm not sleeping with your missus.
Yeah.
So, Joe, there you got your answer. Harry, you got one more question, I guess.
Okay, no, we've 2 more questions. I only asked one. We're taking our time tonight. Okay, here we go, Tony. What do you use? What do you use to film? What do you film your when you're doing your slot cars outside? What do you use to film them?
Yeah, I've got a couple of options. So I've got where am I? I've got the Osmo Action 5 Pro, and my main camera is the one I'm using here now, which is the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 gimbal.
Okay.
So I can't really show it because it's getting used, but it's the little gimbal on the stick. Yes, there we go.
And how do you edit? Do they come with editing programs or something like that?
Yeah, they link up with the DJI Mimo app. It's called MIMO, but
Okay.
so you can do editing all through there, which is fine. But I actually transferred over to that new app called CapCut. So I use CapCut. Yeah, it seems very, very user friendly, and for people like me that are just learning, it's pretty good. It's not like these Final Cut Pro and Adobe Pro. I've opened up them before, and I'm like, oh my god, this is a studio that it needs a university degree, But this CapCut's very intuitive. Yeah.
I couldn't use CapCut. I went into it and I went back to the one. I have another app downloaded on my phone which I can use. Even CapCut for me was like, what? I'm too used to the free app that I'm using on my phone. So for me,
it was like used to what you're using. Have you tried CapCut on the phone?
Yeah, I downloaded it on the phone and I couldn't use it.
Okay.
So the one I'm using is called, hold on, I'll tell you now, Tony. The one I'm using is called UCut. UCut is the app I use, yeah. But do you know, lately, I've literally been using the gallery. You can edit using the gallery that comes on your Samsung phone. I've been editing using the gallery music, the text in the gallery. It's very easy to use. It's free and it's really basic. So you get away with it. That's why I always say to people, don't be afraid to start a YouTube channel. If you have any sort of a cheap phone, fire it away. You can do everything now. Okay, that was that. Thank you very much, Tony. Over to you for your next question. I've one left then, but over to you, Nico. Fire it away.
Why is Ninko so special to you, Tony?
Well, it's the rarity, and I think it was the fact that when I was a young bloke in primary school, there was a young friend of mine that I used to go to his house, and I'm pretty sure that Dad, he had a slot car set up, and I remember just seeing Ninko, the logos and the banners and stuff back then. So it just must have sat back in the back of the hard drive there for a while, and then last year when the eBay bug hit, I don't know. So it's just that, I don't know, the rarity, the European, the Spanish factor. Love it.
By the way, more Aussies joining in. You got a big fan base there. There's Anthony from Melbourne joining.
Thank you, Anthony. Good bloke.
We've got Soccer League of Champions. Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, I was just champions. Welcome.
Joining in. So so the logo just jumped at you, and some big bell rang in the back of your head. Yeah.
Just brought it all back, and there you go. That's how it all started. But I don't know. It's just it's a different little. I just love the classic side. There's so many little facets that I'm learning myself now, because when I was a kid, you just know it as a brand. But now that I'm looking at it and sort of dissecting the brand and seeing actually what the brand was and what it did for the industry back in the day, it was the duck's nuts, in my opinion, back in the day. And it's just a shame that it's died, and I'm going to try and bring it back, bring Ninko back one day at a time. Maybe if I win the big lotto, I win $100 million, I'm going over to Spain. I'm going to put the money on the table, and we're going to bring back Ninko.
That sounds like a plan.
Buy the molds and bring them all home in a big ass airplane and set up a company in Australian Ninko. Yeah, absolutely.
In case you need a test driver, I'm in. Okay.
You're all on the board. We're all employed. Yeah.
Okay, listen, I go with my last one. And guys, just to say, I know we're down in, but we want to have a chat today about wood rooted tracks. So we'll do that. That'll be the last part of the show, because a few people want to give a show out to as well about the wood rooted tracks. But my last question for you, Tony, is, and I'm sorry, Slothead crew, but it's distance from me personally. Tony, tell us a little bit about your radio control car history.
Well, that's it's similar to most people, I suppose, or not most people, but people that like RC cars. I think it started when I was 10 or 11, when my mum bought me the Jet Hopper or the Grasshopper. I think it was the Grasshopper, the Tamiya Grasshopper.
Yeah.
So it was like every Christmas, you know, you'd either get a slot car track, you get an RC car, or a push bike or something. You know, the three, you know, the big ticket items back when you were a kid was slot cars, RC cars. So it all started back then, and then now that you've become an adult and you can afford the toys that you want, it's just slowly evolved. And we do have a quite a healthy little scene here in Darwin for RC cars. So there is a track in town, big 1/8 scale / 10th scale RC track that's pretty popular with the lads. Probably a good core group of 30 odd guys that go there and do racing. But it's because it's Darwin, it's hit and miss. We have half the year where you can't use the track at all because it's bloody too wet. And so what is it now? It's coming into March. I think April till about October, the track's open. So I've done a little bit of competitive RC racing, but very little. It's mainly bashing and RC rock crawlers. And old Tamiya classics and stuff like that. So yeah, it's been the ongoing bug over the years. You know, it just sort of lingers there in the background.
Yeah,
a couple of times a year, I'll make a purchase here and there of the cars that I want.
At least you have the physical community there where you can go and have a race with some friends or whatever, you know. So that's good. Yeah, that's great to have.
Yeah, I'm thinking about helping with the content for my channel this year, becoming an active paid member again, because I let my active membership fade. So I might pay my membership again this year and go and do a bit of I'm thinking 10 scale short course truck with me Traxxas / 4x4.
Oh yeah, excellent. Yeah, they're a lovely truck. Yeah, I like those. Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Yeah.
We have to show a little bit of that on your channel, a bit of video, so we can see what you got up to. Okay, listen, that's my questions. I think Nico has one more. Have you one more left, Nico? No.
Yes, I've got one more left. But first of all,
I'm sweating.
You're nearly through, Tony. You nearly made it.
We're very gentle. We were very good today, you know.
I just wanted to mention.
Welcome along, Eric Wildman's here as well. Welcome along.
Thank you. Yes, just wanted to say hi to Eric. Oh yeah. My last question is: anything you would like to have changed in the slot car world, cars, tracks, whatever? Pick one. Any changes you would like to see?
Well, it comes down to kids and that as well too. You know, I don't want to see it fade away any worse than it is. I want to see these manufacturers and companies sort of promote their products a bit better. You know, like you ask a little kid these days what a slot car is, and he just scratches his head. He doesn't know what he's talking about. So it would be nice to see a little bit more effort in the mainstream to help the hobby still continue, because us diehard oldies, you know, we're doing our best to keep the hobby going, but you really need to get some young blood in it. I like to see our Carrera trying weird things with that hybrid stuff, and it's not for me and it's not for most of us old blokes, but they got to try and do something to bring in the younger blood to sort of, I don't know, keep, we don't want other things like Ninko's to go away. Imagine if this happened to Sky Electric or, you know, one of the other big main brands, Carrera. You couldn't have one of those big main two die, otherwise it'd be all over. You know, you need a healthy market to produce the competitiveness to get the juices flowing for every other company to outdo each other. You know.
Yeah, I agree to that. Because I mean, if Carrera or Sky Electrics were gone, you know, it's a huge hit. You know, like where would people find slot cars? We know where to go and find Revo slots, and you know we know where to go for Scale Autos. But the general people, when they Google slot car race and sets, whatever, Carrera will pop up or Sky Electrics will pop up, where you don't get Revo slot popping up when you just do a Google search for a slot racing track. So
I understand those boutique companies wouldn't have the big marketing budgets that Sky Electric and Carrera have. So really, the pressure is on the big two Yeah, I can't speak for the European guys, but over here in Australia, there's absolutely nothing. You'd never see any advertising from the big two. I remember, probably, 10, 15, 20 years ago when you're watching your Saturday morning cartoons and stuff and the ad breaks come on, you'd have all your action figurines and what's coming out for Christmas and RC cars, slot cars. You'd get those little bits on TV, through the ad breaks, but the TV's dead. It's TikTok and YouTube, and all these other social media streams.
And of course, for kids, it's computer games now. It's the huge computer games.
This is exactly where I see us kicking in, meaning trying to use the new channels like social media to bring it across.
Yeah, they've got to.
Plus, I think that, I learned that Skillextrix does a competition at schools where school children or classes can create their own slot cars to be printed off and then come together and they race them against each other, and they even get a prize from Skillextrix. If you watch on Track TV's channel and go back a little, he was attending one of those things, and I think it's a great thing. But it's only one brand doing that, and they're only doing it in the UK, which means I agree, Tony. There would be a lot more.
And I understand these companies are not going to want to pick on certain content creators that don't match their product. But you've got people like Pete from Track Fans TV, Trav, the slot car guy, that really try and bring in the youth and the kids and make it fun and exciting, and Track Fans TV, that all these animations on his screen, and that is just brilliant. A lot of us guys can't do that, so I take my hat off to Pete and others like that can really sort of amp it up. Yeah. Thank God.
Yeah, that's you need people like that at the front of the hobby to get the young people. And I love during his Sunday morning show, he gets to shout out to all the young people. He has a section where he shouts out to young track fans and stuff like that. It's great.
Yeah. And he promotes those swap meets and whatever British and events that are going on. You've got Dave Kennedy over there in the States that, in the middle of every one of his videos, he'll do that little segment where he puts up all the banners of what events are going on around the country and that too. So it'd be really good to see if these companies support those lads a few more. I understand they're not going to send cars and stuff to every Tom, Dick and Harry.
It's like you were saying, Australia's huge, but there is, I know it's a huge country, but there seems to be quite a good slot car community there. Would it be great if, Skillextrix and Carrera had some sort of a road show where they went around different cities and had a massive track they set up for special events, but no one seems to be doing that sort of thing.
No.
It's funny you mentioned that, Harry. Stick to my channel till beginning of March. I'll be going somewhere. I don't want to spoil it. I'll be going somewhere where this promotion happens. But the problem is it's so spot-wise, and it's not organized worldwide.
It's not venturing. It's the same certain areas. Yeah. So what you're saying is I'm not to unsubscribe to you until after March. Yeah.
At least, hopefully, yes.
Okay. I'll get you.
That's
okay.
great.
So
that's great.
Maybe just because we started off with that, maybe. Welcome, Jamal. One of the best-looking tracks, if not the best-looking track on YouTube.
Yeah, fantastic stuff.
Wow. Oh, yeah. As nobody asked what's on my desk, I'll just come up and tell what's on my desk. No, just kidding.
Well, you might
What
as well
have you
go.
got going on,
You might as well
Nico?
go for it. I mean, I was going to unsubscribe, but come on, let's see what you have on your desk. So,
Well, unsubscribe first, and then I'll continue. No, just kidding. Yeah, people watching my channel, of course, you've already seen it. It's that massive, and it's really big. I mean, what do I have as a comparison? That's the DJI Osmo 3, and that's
Wow.
the size of the car. So it's bigger than the DJI Osmo. Yes, it will be a slot car. It's already got the mounts under here. It came with a 3D printed special chassis just for that body. And the reason why it takes so long is I want to take my time for the details and not ruin the paint job, so to do with ruining the decals. Oh, the details, sorry. That's why it takes so long, because there's still a lot of details to come, like windows, cockpit. I mean, you've seen it before in one of my other videos. There's the cockpit.
Yep.
Awesome.
So is that PLA or?
I've got no bloody idea.
Okay.
For those who want to know, the kit is on from Area 71. It's from the homepage is TA71. So the figures, the numbers, TA71.it, because it's Italian, but the whole homepage is in English. And you can get, for example, that car in 32 as well, with a chassis to go with it.
Is the chassis designed to take a particular company's components, like or do you have to buy a particular motor or anything like that?
Yes, you have to get your own motor, axles, bushing, gear, tires. So it's only the wheel inserts come with a kit.
Yeah.
It's the chassis and the wheel inserts that come with the kit, yeah.
Okay, and then it's up to you what you want to put onto after that. Okay.
Exactly. Sorry, Tony, you wanted to ask something.
No, that's fine. I was just going to say, so it comes unpainted, yeah?
It comes unpainted, or you can buy it like ready to paint, which means they've done the basic layer.
Yeah, primer.
With a filler or with a primer already on it. Costs a little extra, but you can get it there.
And you use acrylic paint, yeah?
I used water-based paint airbrush. I use both. I use rattle cans, but I also use airbrush. I don't use airbrush very long, but the reason why I use airbrush now is there's water-based colors. It doesn't smell. And it's so freaking easy to clean, because I'm a lazy guy, I don't like to spend like spraying 5 minutes and cleaning the airbrush for 2 hours. I hate that. And water-based colors, you can clean the airbrush with water.
Yeah.
5 minutes.
Yeah.
So we can talk about that later on if you want to have more details on that.
Oh, I see what David was saying. Yes, about Australia. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, the big shops just like why the new sales reps going in from these companies and pushing their stuff to be on the shelves. Obviously, there's somebody in marketing is not pushing the stuff properly, I think. You never see anything. You never see anything. I've never seen anything on a shelf in Latvia. Even Carrera Go. We have lots of these other really, really cheap brands of like tiny little slot cars. And it's the sort of thing. The trouble with those is, personally, I think, now you might think it's great if kids get it for Christmas, they might get into slot cars. But if you get some crap for Christmas and it breaks after a few weeks, or it runs terrible, the kids are never going to want to get into slot cars again. They're going to say, this is rubbish.
Yep.
So I wish the shops would even have Career Evolution or something, like it'd be. But I've never seen anything for sale here in Latvia. Never one thing.
Slot and Company, of course, you can make suggestions. Sorry. Yeah. Greensboro Toy World.
Yeah, Toy World. Yeah, they're still the sort of bastions of a little bit of toys left in Australia, but companies like Toys R Us, they folded and left Australia. They were good back in the day. So yeah, there's still Toy World, but no, it's I suppose there's one. And actually, I did see earlier this year, or late last year, sorry, Kmart, which is like a Walmart or something similar. They had a Batman Joker Scalextric 143 set for like $89 Australian. So that would have been like 50 quid. And that was sort of Batman Joker related.
Yeah, the shops do seem to get, if they're going to get out, and they usually get the novelty cars. They don't look at it like we would, like we want Formula 1 cars, rally cars. The shops will get in the novelty sort of cars.
The Carrera Mario Kart,
Yeah. So they get stuff like that.
But going on those 3D bodies and printing and stuff, it's really taken off the 3D resin printing.
Oh, yeah.
I've just sort of,
Yes, yeah.
I've got a 3D printer, filament 3D printer, the Bamboo A1 Mini, and that does PLA plastic, PETG plastic, TPU. So TPU is that more flexible stuff that you might make for camera mounts and stuff like that, with a little bit of shock absorption. So my printer is a filament printer that only does sort of hard plastics. I haven't got much here to show you actually, but now I've just started seeing all these resin 3D printed bodies and coming up. And I don't know if you've watched any of this 3D resin printing, but it's a liquid based stuff and it's coming out of the floor like bloody Terminator coming out of liquid metal.
Yeah, you have to be careful now. I think there's a lot of fumes. You need a proper sort of vented area and all this sort of stuff. It's not good for your lungs, this stuff.
No, it looks messy, it looks nasty, but the results they're getting look amazing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Are you tempted? You sound like you're tempted, Tony.
When I get the shed, shed.
Like that's something you could put in that little shed you might get.
Yeah. No, that's my main issue is space. Always fighting for more space, us slot car guys, aren't we?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a problem for everyone, I guess.
Yeah. Okay, we move on to a little chat about the routed tracks, routed slot car tracks. We're just going to have a little chat tonight, and we're going to go over a bit tonight. But sure, look, we're having fun, so we'll stick with you guys, and I think you guys are having fun in the chat. We're going to have a little talk about wood routed tracks, and what do you guys think of them? Do you guys have them now? And there's a few people we wanted to mention. If you want to go and see people building wood tracks, I have a few that I'll go through. Definitely Rob from Swift Slots, who his Crow Valley 2 track. If you go and have a look on his page, you'll see how he builds that from MDF. He's a rally type of track, a rally cross track. And he's done a couple of tracks which are excellent, really good. And we have David UC, who's here in the chat. And David has very recently got his new track done. And I thought I was very interested in how he got this massive machine that cut the grooves in it. So, and it was all done by this massive machine. So the wood was there, it was cut, and he brought it home. And okay, it's a bit more expensive, but it's a perfection. The job is done to perfection. You've no dust, you've no mess around your house. So definitely go to UC, go to David's channel and have a look what he's doing with his particular track. And then of course we have our good friend Pat, who bought a track, and this amazing track, and the guys all went down and fixed it up and cleaned it up and made it really lovely. And that's a 4-lane track. David's is a 3-lane track. Rob's is a 1-lane track. So Pat has a lovely track there. And hi Pat, all the best to you. I know sometimes you're watching and you don't comment, you're just watching along. We're all thinking of you, mate. And just a mention of a guy here from Latvia, Janis Novokins. Okay. And Janis would be he's a Latvian guy, lives a few hours away from me. He would be an internationally well-known track builder. He builds these amazing tracks that are used by the slot racing associations. who do these wing
Wow.
cars and these very fast with the Lexan bodies. This guy builds amazing tracks. He done the track that was used in the big race in Italy this year. So that's his Facebook page. If you go into Jan's Facebook page, have a look at some of the stuff he does. It's absolutely amazing quality. He sells everywhere. Germany, Germany, America, England, everywhere, all over the world. So I just thought I'd give him a shout out because he's one of our local guys. I'm always saying I can't find anyone in Latvia for racing, but I certainly know this guy, and he's an amazing track builder. Okay, Nico.
Wouldn't you love to be in a position where you could commission that fella to come and build a custom track for you?
He'll build a track anywhere. You give him a shout and he'll build you a track. He builds the tracks
Wouldn't
and
that
then
be
he
awesome?
transports them all over the world. It's amazing.
Well, there are a lot of, by now there are a lot of companies out there, I guess, who do routed tracks where you can order them. There are a few in Germany. I know that there is an Austrian guy who's exactly like Harry just described. You just give him a ring, give him a home for 2 days, more or less, some food and some beer, and he'll just build you a 4-lane track, the size and you want to, So yes, thank God.
Here in Australia, these guys here are the people you want to see in Australia if you want a modular wood-routed track. These guys do custom tracks around Australia. I've always kept their pamphlet because I'm always dreaming of what I'd like to make a combination of. But as you can see there, you can get all these different tables with different combinations.
Is that the same guy I have here, but he's called Mr.
Tracks. Yeah.
That's the guy
who does some amazing stuff.
That's the guy from Davis one. Yeah, super stuff.
So yes, I mean the we've got in our club scene here in my area, we've got one routed track. Now the guy who ordered it just made a simple calculation on the size he wanted to have his track, with a 4-lane Carrera or a wood routed track, and it was about the same amount of money. Now there is one more thing. I don't know if they still do it, but there was a company selling routed slot car tracks, and they were built in jail by the inmates.
What? Okay.
Yes, and so they had something decent to do. They got some extra money, and the guy took care of selling it. So that was a good thing, Yeah. I don't know whether they still do it or not, but yes, they did.
Did it come with inbuilt cigarette burns?
With a file, to come through your bar.
Hey, and about Rob Swift Slots, about Rob's, when he built his Crow Valley track, and it was very interesting to see, he actually used the Scale Electrics track as his template. He was thinking of doing the track out of Scale Electrics, and he said, hey, that would be no good for the channel. Why not build it out of wood? So he went and he used the Scale Electrics track as his template, and then he went and he grooved in all the stuff and built this amazing track. So that was interesting. Do you know, there's one other person as well, Sunshine Speedway Slot Cars, and a lot of people know that's Alex from the Axle Box. I think, is he Axle Box or Omnibox? I think he's Axle Box, yeah.
I think it's Axle Box, as far as I can remember. Yeah.
But if you go on to Sunshine Speedway Slot Cars, his channel, he's also been building a track, and he's put part 2 of it up. That was only a few weeks ago. So they're the two that I'd be sort of checking out at the moment. Would be UC himself here in the chat, and Sunshine Speedway. They're both building tracks at the moment, and we can't forget Marty from 2 Lanes Racer. Yeah. Marty built his oval track as well, and he showed himself building that, which was great to watch because we all love Marty, So it was great to see him take on that task and do that job.
By the way, Tony, in case you did, sorry, go ahead.
I also like these wood-routed tracks too that don't stick to the formula of straight. You do see some of them have the little kick-ins and kick-outs. So I really like seeing those ones that aren't totally in formation, that add that little bit of variety.
Yeah.
And in case you didn't notice, Tony, you're getting offered Ninko tracks over and over in the chat. So when you wait for like 24 hours, you can go back to the live chat and see who actually offered you Ninko track. It was one of the guys in Spain. It was also Joe from Canada saying, I might have a Ninko track available. So just check it out.
Excellent. Tell him to come over to my Tony Drony channel and leave a message and sub, and I'll send him my postal box.
Well, Joe's on Discord and the Spanish guy's on Discord, so it should be you going on Discord then.
That's true. That's true. I am on a member. Hopefully they haven't kicked me out. It's been a bloody month since I've been on there.
No worries. I guess you'll still be on there. So you see, and you see also had a chat with Yanis, Harry.
Very interesting. Yanis was on. Do you remember I done my video where I went and I done a video about the guys racing in Latvia, and I interviewed Yanis. He's a very humble guy, but he does some amazing tracks. You know, he's a nice guy. You know, very down to earth sort of guy. Yeah, that's interesting, David. Be interesting to see what he said. He said, "Don't talk to that Harry fella. He's not right in the head." Probably something like that.
Plus, welcome to the channel, John D, also from Melbourne. So again, the Aussies are taking over.
That's great.
So you see, you got quite a fan base there, Tony.
Yeah, I've just had a quick peek on the tracks, and I see that Dave there saying that Mr. Tracks routed his track as well. So he must be live pretty close to that area there. But no, I'm going to have fun going back in the chat afterwards, I think, and having a look at all this because it's going off, boys. There's quite an active chat going on.
There is.
Oh, look at this! They released the 143 set with the Golf. Last Christmas. Was that a European thing?
Well, I also, as mentioned before, I also noticed that Ninko came out with a 143 set. So yeah, maybe check that out. Yeah, and if you need any help, just let me know, Tony.
Yeah, I might need your postal address. We'll get it sent to you, then off to Australia.
Well, you know, post often gets lost between Austria and Australia because the post guys just don't read it and they send it to Australia instead of Austria.
It's happened to me once, yeah.
I think your local post guy is going to need to get a slightly bigger van, Tony.
I've got these old ladies up at the post office box now that they're getting the shits with me because they're seeing names come in with Tony Drony and Tony Saliba, and there's 3 or 4 different combinations that people are starting to use, and it's confusing them. So they're getting the shits with me up at the post box.
Well, I mean, I had trouble in my post office because my real name and my name that everybody knows me by. So the postwomen were saying, "Who's this guy?" And I was like, "Oh no, you know, what name is on your ID? We need your proper ID. That name doesn't match." I was like, "Oh, come on!" But they know me now after 5 visits. They're like, "Oh, here's this guy again." so I can use both the names now, so I can actually collect stuff without too much trouble. We have Todd after popping in. Hi, Todd. Welcome along. Yes, you're very late, but at least you made it.
When they moved their production to China. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I've noticed that. So most of my Ninko cars underneath the chassis will say made in Spain, but yeah, I do have a few there that are Chinese based. So I might even have to do a video in the near future of something related to that because I've also got that 10th anniversary box that has the first Fiat. Oh, sorry, not a Fiat. But yeah, I got that. I picked up that one not long ago too. That was the actual first Ninko #1 car. So
now half of Spain will go mad again.
Yeah, quite a good little history there of all the Ninko history. I've briefly read about half of it, you know, and it's good. It talks about all the sort of the corporate side of things of Ninko when they did move from Spain to here to there. So it's an amazing publication.
Wow.
You know,
That is.
it's almost it's almost part one of a sort of encyclopedia of Ninko's history, really.
And you know, Tony, isn't there something special about having, for me, there's something special about having a book or a magazine rather than just Googling stuff on the internet. I love to have a physical book. You know, it's just something different.
Well,
so you see,
I'm into my video games too, and it's a big issue going on. Same thing in video games. It's all going digital. You know, there's no physical media now. You remember back in the days, you'd get your Sega or your Nintendo game, and it'd have a beautiful, lovely coloured brochured manual, and you know, you'd be collecting the box art. You know, you'd have all your box art of all your video games, similar to a library of books. You know, but these days it's all digital codes and firmware updates, and you buy the disc these days, and all it is just a code to access the online features.
Yeah, and then because they're all looking for your credit card number, then you know. I mean, I have a PlayStation 4, which I'm getting rid of. I don't use it too often because of me back. But I at least with that, I could buy the physical games for the car racing games. Go in and buy the disc, and I don't need to go on the internet to play the games on my own. Yes, you can go onto the internet, but no, I've done a bit of sim racing for a few months, and I'm knocking that on the head. I'm hoping to get rid of that and replace that with a nice RC car. That's my plan for the summer. Maybe a buggy for racing. So
you see, Tony, it's the 10-year special Renault Clio version.
Sorry, Renault Clio. Yes, number one. I get them always confused with the Fiat Punto. I love the little Fiat Punto. I get those two confused.
Yeah.
I think I've got about 4 or 5.
1.5 hours already.
Slot & Company is a wealth of information about Ninko, Tony. This is great for you.
Absolutely. Slot & Company is your man to go to. He also offered the Ninko track, so watch out.
Oh, thank you, sir. I'll definitely be looking back at this. I'm just going to check out if the sun's come up yet. It's still dark.
Will you be going back to bed now, or that's what you're up for the day, I presume, at this stage?
No way. As soon as the sun comes up, we're going to get out there and do some laps.
That's dedication. Brilliant.
Excellent.
Early start today.
Oh, yeah.
Just reading the chat.
Guys, how do you feel about calling this a wrap? The thing is, Tony, we just don't want to stress out the guys too much, meaning we don't want to get boring. So we set ourselves a goal to 60 minutes to 90 minutes for a max.
That's fair enough. Yeah,
not
that's fair
to
enough. Yeah.
overdo it, to keep it interesting and to save some topics. Yes, we didn't do all topics yet. To save some topics for the next show.
Yeah, cool. No, that's no problem at all. I'm blessed to be on the show, and if we can save something for maybe another show, we can come back again and talk to you European boys again.
100%, Tony. We loved having you tonight. It was a great show. Fabulous show.
Yeah, time flies. Feels like it's only been half an hour.
It does. At first, I'd be a bit nervous, and then when you get into the flow, as you said, time flies, you know.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you can talk slot car for days.
Oh, yeah.
And it's great with all the guys in the chat as well. Like it's lovely because the guys in the chat keep us going because they're asking things and they're chatting together and they're suggesting things, and it's brilliant. So we appreciate every single person that comes into the chat. Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I'm just having a quick peek now. It's still 20. It says on my phone 26 people, and it's pretty active.
Same here. Yeah.
I suppose because
after 1.5 hours.
I'm shocked because it's early morning here, but I suppose it's Friday evening there. So blokes over in the European cities will be just kicking off, having a few pints, eh?
It's funny because we're jumping. We have a great load of guys from here from Oz today, which is brilliant. But we also have a lot of guys from Canada and some Canadian guys and some stateside guys, but not many UK guys. We sort of jumped across the water. So, but I mean,
Ah.
we have the Spanish guys. We have, I think, some German guys. Have we got Rathead? Is he still here? Maybe. So, UK guys, we did have Dave in from Slot
Tojo, yeah.
Off, but you know, I suppose
Tojo.
at this time, there's people Friday. They're being romantic. You know, they're watching a romantic movie together. People in the UK go to bed at 10:30.
This is my idea of a romantic night out. Talking with blokes and slot cars.
Absolutely.
Where's the candles?
Yeah, we need a candlelit show.
No, I would go for a 4X there, or for a VBs.
The most popular beer currently, I suppose, in the north of Australia at the moment is called Great Northern.
Okay.
So
Haven't tasted that, but
yeah, no, it's not a bad drop. Great Northern. But I'm a bit of a Jack Daniels man. I like a bit of Jack Daniels if I'm drinking, but I'm not a big drinker. Half a dozen drinks and I'm anyone's.
Famous last words, Harry.
Well, I only drink tea. I don't drink alcohol, which is very strange for an Irish person. I'm not normal. I told you I'm not normal. And just to mention, Jamal, thanks for being in the chat, Jamal. I don't know what time it is for you over there, but all you guys who joined us from everywhere, all the guys from Australia who got up so early in the morning to join us, and especially Tony, I think he was up at 4 a.m. this morning getting sorted ready. And
thank you so much.
And the guys from Canada and the guys from the UK and Europe, it's brilliant. We love having you all here. What a great show. Absolutely. Really enjoyed it tonight.
Yeah, no, it's been great. It's a bit of a nostalgic retro show, really. I'm sorry to take up so much time talking Ninko, but
I only look old.
It's been great.
I only look old. Okay. So your famous last words, Tony.
Oh, keep it real, eh?
Yeah.
No.
My famous last words. Thank you so much to everyone who joined us. Thanks, Tony, for getting up at like 3:30 in the morning, being so nervous to stick with us, join us. Thanks for joining in. So I'm overdoing it now.
It's been a pleasure. Pleasure, guys. Pleasure.
Thank you so much. And yes, I guess I'm speaking for Harry and me and for the rest of the crowd. We'd love to have you back on the show.
Anytime, boys. Anytime. Anytime. Love to be a part of it.
I'm sure we'll do that.
Absolutely. Yeah, 100%. Definitely have you back.
So, again, thank you very much for everyone joining us, watching us. Keep it in the slot. Stay tuned. Stay healthy. See you around, guys. See ya.
Bring Ninko. Ninko for all.